How's it going, everyone? It's David here, and today we are going to build another Nanocoaster. I was supposed to go to Coaster Stock at Kings Island, and well, 2020 happened. But instead, to make up for it, we are going to build this, the Beast Nanocoaster, and I am looking forward to building this. The Beast, while not a perfect roller coaster, it's on a personal level one of my favorites. I'm very curious how this Nanocoaster is going to turn out because the Beast is naturally a very big ride, and I think this could be, in terms of area, in terms of length, it could be the biggest Nanocoaster that I have built so far. But first off, let's look at the box real quick. It says the Beast, the easy to assemble miniature replica. There it is right there. Actual assembled model. You build it yourself. Coaster Dynamix coasters are miniature replicas of the world's most iconic thrill rides. Manufactured from high-quality stainless steel and constructed on a laser-cut acrylic base, these easy-to-assemble models require no glue to build. Just punch out the parts, insert them into the base, and bend the tabs to hold the coaster in place. It's that easy. And then down here are some real ride facts from the Beast. It is a wooden coaster, 110 feet tall, max speed of 65 miles an hour, and the length of 7,359 feet, and it's at Kings Island Amusement Park. So before we actually begin building the Beast, I want to show you a couple of the tools that we're going to help use this. You don't need that much, but just a couple. For starters, I like to use the tip of a pen, a little bit sharp enough, but not too hard, not too sharp. This is mainly to get the covering off of the base. I also like to get some micro precision scissors, not only to cut out the pieces, but also to bend them more precisely. So yes, without further ado, let's begin building the Beast Nanocoaster. Alright, let's first open up the box. Okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, not that many parts. First off are the instructions. They give you pictures to help you follow along. You do have to do it in a certain order to get it just right. Although for the Beast, because it's a very spread out ride, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Here is the base. There is a bit of protective coating over it, and we're going to have to peel that off. And then in here, inside of this baggie, we have the pieces to help build the ride. While some Nanocoasters, you have to cut them out from the metal plate, but in this one, they're already pre-cut, so some of the hassle is already done for you. So the first thing we're going to do is that we are going to peel off the protective coating over the plate. What I like to use is the cap of a pen. It is sharp, but it is not hard enough to puncture or scratch the base. So let's begin, shall we? Alright, the base is now clear. As you can see, there is some outlines to help you follow along where to put it, and there are little holes, as you can see on the back, where you would basically bend the tabs together so that the pieces can stay in place. So the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to take the pieces of track out. What I'm going to do is that I like to do it one at a time so that I don't get the pieces all mixed up, and I'm going to follow the steps that are written here on the instructions. Okay, so the first piece is now in, and what you had to do first was actually build the turnaround out of the station, and the first lift hill, and that first drop. And one thing about these wooden Nanocoasters is that I think they are much easier than the steel ones because the whole support is already pre-cut. You don't have to bend the support structures like you do on some steel coasters, like my last one with the steel curtain. So it's actually a bit easier to place in. Although I just want to point out how tiny the supports are cut on this. It's actually pretty impressive. Oh, and also to let you know that on the back side are the little tabs inside the holes, and you have to bend them so that they don't come out. Alright, now that the first piece is in, we are going to move on and put the other pieces in. One thing that you have to note is that some of these pieces, they look pretty similar, and unfortunately the instructions do not tell you exactly what piece to cut out. So you actually have to be sure, because I personally don't want to bend them and find out that I put in the wrong piece, because that could potentially break it. So we're just going to hang tight and see which ones fit. So I actually went a little bit out of order. You were supposed to do this turnaround here, then going into the mid-course brake run, and then into the tunnel. But I actually instead skipped ahead to do this low portion of the ride right before the second lift hill, mainly because I knew exactly that this piece was supposed to go there, and I didn't want to confuse it for the others. Alright, so we are about halfway done with this model. Like I said before, this is the first lift hill into the first drop, and then we did this back section. This is actually not in the order that the instructions say, but I'm not too worried about this model because it's pretty spread out. It's not compact. I think the only thing that you have to worry about is the crossover here with the helix and the two drops after the two lift hills. So let's continue and see how this turns out. As the case for most nano coasters, the last piece is usually the most difficult, and the last piece here is the helix. It's pretty tight, and you have to bend it just right to get it into the pegs and to match up with the other pieces. So to make sure that I'm doing it correct, I got myself a little flashlight. So hopefully this works. Alright, and just like that, it looks like the Beast Nano Coaster is now fully assembled. What I'm going to do now is, with the micro precision scissors, is to straighten it out and make it more smooth. I actually almost forgot, we do have to construct the station as well as the little nameplate. Almost completely forgot about that, so let's do that real quick. And just like that, the Beast Nano Coaster is now complete. Look at that, nice and big. Look at that, it's like the size of the palm of my hand. And that's just this, and then you got this whole thing back here. So once again, here it is, the Beast, and it certainly looks like it. I will say from the other Nano coasters that I have built. The scale of this seems to be a bit smaller, but that's completely understandable because this is pretty big as it is. But probably my favorite thing about this is right here, where it goes under the base, or in this case underground, and then it shoots back out the other way. I think that's really, really cool. The hardest part for this Nano coaster to build was definitely the helix. Just getting that to be like a perfect circle and getting it in the pegs just right. That had to do a bit of a realignment, but it turned out pretty good. I will say this is, for honestly the scale of this, probably one of the easiest Nano coasters that I have built. I built this in about a half an hour, which is about average. Most of them take about 45 minutes. In some cases they may take up to an hour, but this only took a half an hour. Honestly, not too hard. Honestly, I don't know where to put this, mainly because you got this big base right here. It's pretty much the size of my hand right here, and then you got this section right here. Now, another thing to note about this model is that it's not working. It's just a standee, but it's still pretty cool. It's very stylish, very sharp. You can put this in your office, you can put this in your home, and it looks very sharp. It looks very, very nice. So if you want to get the Beast Nano coaster from Coaster Dynamix, you can buy it at Kings Island, or I should say if Kings Island opens. And I believe you can buy it also on Coaster Dynamix website. It came to $30, which is the price that I paid at Kings Island. I actually bought this last year but didn't build it until now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you want to see any more Nano coaster builds here on the channel. Please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. And with that being said, thank you all for riding, and I'll see you next time.